Hello, Alex O'Neill. What we thought was once lost has now been found. Here
Season
in
lost, Mike.
here in Destiny 2, we're back.
We're back.
We had
I'm back specifically. I was
yeah,
not here last time we had a check-in video,
that's
so
that is true. That's a good point. It's one of those things where it feels like it's been forever, but it actually has not been forever because it's only been a couple
and
months.
3 months is
Yeah, it's
substantial.
still a decent amount of time. And also, what's even crazier with this update is I can go look at we're with people all over. Look at this.
Yeah.
Crossplay is here in Destiny 2. So much entertaining. You can see what you can see. There's me and Alex at the top with our PlayStation logos, but also you can see some keyboards, which are PC players, and then there's some controller folks down here. Yeah, crossplay's in Destiny 2 now to an extent. It's not fully capable. They have like been ironing out some kinks
hmm
generally, which sometimes happens, in the world of Destiny. But we're gonna jump into the new story stuff this week.
That's week two.
We're gonna
Season
head
lost.
yeah we're gonna head into the Helm because it's the second week of the new season. Yeah, like you said, Season of the Lost. They just revealed a whole bunch of stuff Destiny related last week with the Witch Queen expansion coming next year. The 30th anniversary, all that stuff happened just a week ago.
Galahorn's coming back.
Yep,
Everybody's excited.
everybody's excited. And there's also some crazy stuff just happening right now with the story,
Yeah.
as we'll get into with the season. We can talk a little bit about it, but I think we'll see stuff as we progress through the story this week. I would say it's not as big as and revelatory as last week,
Sure.
but there's still some interesting stuff. So let's head down here and see what's going on with the Wayfinder
I
compass.
know you have reservations about my arrangement with Sabathun. I feel it in your heart. For all her clever machinations, the Witch Queen did not anticipate your success in stopping Aquaria or the Endless Night. Her schemes unravel, and now she needs my protection from Zibu Araf, from the World Gods, from you. I have already learned much by observation. The Taken pursued her here. Taken she once controlled. Taken that now serve a new master. Or, if Sabathun is to be believed, their original master. Not her brother, Oryx.
Original master.
Far older.
Who is she or they?
It commands Zibu Araf to conquer the Ascendant space surrounding the Dreaming City. To use the Taken in her campaign against us. For now, Sabathun claims that without the Taken, she cannot break the curse she placed on the Dreaming City. She thinks she can entice me with these half-truths.
Secret temptations.
But
I
she
love it.
underestimates the lengths to which I will go to correct the past.
So you can see it's clear with here. Marasov is back.
Mhm.
She's ready to fucking fight. Um, and also Savathun's kind of here.
Yeah. a lot happened that first week.
Yeah, a lot fucking happened. So you can see we're in this new part of the Helm. You can also just go through this portal and be in the Dreaming City. And here's Marasov. Here she is. We can't talk to
Hanging
her.
out.
Can't talk to her at the moment, but that is a thing you can do. But also, you can just kind of go back here and hey, what's up? That's Savathun, the Hive God, just
Yep.
crystallized here and sort of in captivity. Maybe who
Wait,
knows?
look,
It's
look
kind
at
of
look at the top of her.
Oh damn!
Look at fucking got her, dude.
Oh shit! You fucking just teabagged a fucking Hive God, dude. Holy
I know.
fuck!
Yeah. So
Showing true power there.
yeah, exactly.
Guardians of the Light, baby. That's why they're out to get us.
We're too arrogant for our own good.
But yeah, kind of the overall story is basically we're essentially there's kind of been an uneasy alliance made between Savathun and Marsov, and basically now we're trying to sort of help Savathun rid her of her worm because that's what's causing this potential higher power that's now helping Jiva Wrath and the Taken attack and chase down Savathun, and also, attack us. And they're trying. So like basically, it's kind of a double play of like Savathun is trying to get that, and Marasov is also trying to save her dreaming city, which has been in the curse for all this time. So it's them kind of throwing power plays towards each other, which has been really interesting even these first 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Really excited to see where it goes. But of course, that usually leads into like that kind of story stuff going on. But then there's new seasonal activities, which we'll jump into. Astral Alignment. Now, have you seen anything of this one this week, Alex, or you haven't done any story stuff? Correct.
I've been holding off.
Excellent. So I will say there's a little bit of new things in here this second week, which is cool. And the same with, of course, there's a second activity called the Shattered Realm, and that is also new this week, and that's very interesting. So we'll jump in.
Cool.
But yeah, this is your kind of 6-player activity, like they've been kind of doing, like they kind of did last season with Override, but it is very different from Override. It's more, I would say, like there is still like objectives you're doing, but it's definitely, I feel like, a little bit more combat focused.
Yes.
Compared to that, but I've been enjoying that still too. Let's see what I want to run here. Maybe I'll be a weirdo and use 1,000 voices to show off this new mod, because it is pretty nutty.
Yeah, I definitely would like to see it in action, considering I don't have it yet.
Yeah, I have 1K voices on, so I'll definitely do some damage with that. I would say definitely, it's fun. New mod's fun. It's it's not as strong as Breach and Clear from last season.
Okay.
When we're getting into the weeds with like the Destiny mod talk for people who are watching, just so they know, because it's more about not just like, oh, I just tag him with Anarchy and now everyone's doing more damage to this boss. It's more so like, I hit with a fusion rifle, and then anybody else who is using a fusion rifle is also doing more damage. So it's more specific to just fusion rifles, the weapons. Yeah,
it's interesting, like, we've obviously been doing these update videos, and for me,
it's a lot of explosions.
And, for all of us, to some extent, like, for, the group that we play with, it's been the most, like, season to season, we've been on top of it, and it's been fun to, like, try and follow the actual meta of the game and see how the mods that they add each season affect that.
Yeah.
But yeah, Breach and Clear was definitely like, you could do a lot of damage last season, and this season it's different because they also changed how a lot of exotics and weapons work. So
yeah, like I would say, like that's like a big thing with the start of the season yet, because like again, it's the second week, so like there's still a lot of story stuff to come. But they just did like a lot of like big systemic changes to the game, of like they like did a bunch of changes to literally every subclass in the game in some way, shape, or form. Like all the stasis subclasses got some updates or buffs and changes to their abilities. All of the, like, a bunch of warlock changes to like their arc and void and solar subclasses. A lot of their exotic armor, all like a bunch of stuff that was just tied to all of these things got changed. So like there's like a lot of interesting fresh stuff to the game in that respect, of like things that were super powerful last season are already like not as interesting, but they've already replaced it with stuff that's like really cool and fun to play with.
Yeah, fusion rifles are the meta of the season, it seems.
Yeah, fusion rifles are super fun. I've been having, I'm not playing Warlock, but the bottom tree Arc Warlock class, the updates they made to that, I probably kind of made it one of my favorite Arc subclasses, like, in the game, period, and that's a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
They also updated the Hunter Arc class with the staff, and that feels a lot better now too, because it just lasts way longer, so you can just do a lot more damage all around, on top of, like, add in the exotic chest piece that makes it way stronger. It's great. So there's like a lot of stuff like that.
And this is like in addition to like the new exotic for each class that they add each season, which is really cool. One of them, like the one for the Warlock, is a comeback from Destiny 1, which is cool.
Yeah.
The new guns that they have added, which I actually like quite a bit of them.
Yeah. I like
which was coming off of. Yeah, the hand cannon's great. The fusion rifle's cool. And coming off of last season, like season of the Splicer had some of my favorite guns that they've added, period.
Yeah.
So it's cool to have just 2 back-to-back seasons with lots of new weapons that are really fun to play with. Yeah, like one of my favorite exotics got a Catalyst, Traveler's Chosen, which gives it new abilities and new perks and stuff.
Yep.
It's cool. Like, it's just, they've really hit such a great stride with this game in general. And it's just like everything about Season of the Lost kind of demonstrates that.
Yeah.
Including this activity, which is just, we're running around just killing these Taken captains and taking their buff to places for this part of it. But it's more variety to the objectives. There's more, you're fighting Taken again, so it's a little bit more stressful.
Yeah, there's Taken, and then there's Scorn as well, and they've like updated Scorn, where like Scorn can have stasis abilities, which we might not see. I don't know if we'll see in this version of the run, but they can have Scorn abilities, and it's kind of fucked up. And then there's even some Taken that can have stasis stuff, and then also with those new weapons you mentioned, like there are now how guns in Destiny have like elemental affinities, like arc and like the whole thing for Destiny for many years was, hey, you're using arc to take out arc shields or void to take out void shields, and you're just like, people reductively called it like, color matching, which it kind of just was. Where this season they have introduced stasis weapons that now have that stasis affinity, and then like the one drawback is there's only one stasis perk in the game, but it just kind of is a signifier of like what they're thinking about for the future of the game, and like how they integrate like weapons and like builds and crafting into this game.
Yeah. And
I think like it just makes me extremely excited for that coming stuff, because the stasis guns have a perk now that like basically how stasis can freeze things, and like you're seeing now, somebody's using stasis, they can freeze things and also like create these crystals that you can shatter and like do AoE damage with. There's now a perk on those new guns that essentially when you take an enemy out with a precision hit, they will make those crystals now, and you can, any of your abilities that you have via stasis can work alongside that. So it's like, it's just like taking the guns to another level of like, they're good to play, but now I can also use this gun in a way that like fits into my build that I am building with stasis, and like the aspects and the fragments I'm using with different abilities, and combo them all together in just like a really cool way that I now just makes me so excited for the possibilities of.
Yeah, and on top of that, they added stasis armor now, so there are now stasis armor specific mods that also complement any subclass, including stasis.
Correct. Yep, totally.
And it's just like, it feels, the stasis part of everything as like a new subclass feels very fleshed out as of this season, on the kind of like armor and weapon level, whereas the subclass itself was great, I think, coming into this.
Yeah.
If maybe a little broken. And now like everything that comes with an elemental type in the game, weapons, armor, mods, all that's there too. So
yeah, and it's like it feels like they've kind of fleshed it out more how they've wanted to all this time, but probably had to, like you said, over the course of since stasis has been added to the game, they've had to readjust and like buff and nerf and change things. And I think that's probably why we didn't see as much of this stuff as we're starting to finally see now this season. Where it's like, all right, now this is like, a more fair place compared to the other ones. But also in that same vein, like all the reveals that happened a week since we're recording this, they revealed like, hey, the light subclasses that are in the game now, that have been the classes in Destiny for like the 7 years or so or more, are all getting that update too, to like have these more customizable abilities instead of being locked to these specific classes that you're in now.
Yeah.
And like the thing, like this time next year, we're gonna have like literally entire new subclasses that we've just like not ever seen before, or not necessarily not ever seen before, but more so just like fully updated with like, a lot of cool
abilities for the subclass, new melees, new ways to use our current abilities, new synergies that combine them together.
Yes.
Like it'll all be in the same vein as Stasis now, which is very customizable.
Yeah, and just really cool.
Like, for example, just like to throw out a specific example, Headstone, that perk you were mentioning, the Stasis perk, where you get a precision kill and it then spawns a Stasis crystal right where they drop. Now, like, there's a Stasis subclass fragment, a little custom piece of that subclass you can add, that makes it so that when you shoot or break a Stasis crystal with a kinetic weapon, your kinetic weapon does more damage. So like that synergizes with that Stasis weapon just right off the bat, which is super cool. Yeah. And there's probably going to be way more of that stuff this time next year with every class.
Yeah, and I'm just it's just really exciting stuff, and the way like they're evolving the game with those ideas is very exciting. But yeah, we're getting through most of this encounter so far. The big thing with this is, if you didn't know, we're basically pulling these orbs up, but when you pick one up, you get like a debuff, and you can only carry it for a limited time. So you kind of have to sort of trade it off with other people, or at least the intent is to trade it off with your other teammates.
Yeah,
but also
I will say, like,
so it's a lot. There's a lot going on, but I was going to say one thing that they don't really tell you though is that if you're standing in the circle with the person that's carrying it, you get a suppressor like debuff, and you can shoot the enemies to like stop them from shooting, or particularly the bosses that do the stomps when you get near them. If you're like in that circle, you get a suppressor, and you can then just shoot them even if they're in those barriers, and that just like kind of like stops them from doing their stomps. And
I did not know that.
Yeeting people across the map. Yeah, like it's something they don't immediately tell you, but it
seems significant that there was like an aura around the people carrying the balls. So
yeah, but yeah. So now we've done those two little zones. There's like multiple of those zones that'll randomly pop in, but they one of them is currently bugged, so it's not in the game. They had to take it out.
We did play it once, and it was very fun.
Also the new thing about this week is there's a new boss, like a new boss. I'm talking about where it's actually the boss from, if you remember way back from Forsaken, and there's like the sniper boss who can make a bunch of copies of himself.
Oh,
so like it's like a variant of that boss. So you'll see, like, if you look around, there's gonna be like a big, taller looking Scorn man who has like a cloak on.
Yeah, I saw it, and he looked like a Scorn that I did not recognize. So.
Yes. Yep, so there he is on my screen now. I'm shooting at like one of his after images, because now there's like a bunch around the map. And now you have to find the actual one and start shooting him to damage him. Yeah, and he'll do this a bunch, where he like makes a bunch of copies around the room, and you have to like find the real one. Okay, I found him. He's immune though, because we did enough damage to him.
He gains health by harvesting ether.
Yeah, so then the other part is like the ether harvester things from like the public event spawn in here, and we have to stop the ether, because he'll get health back if we don't stop the ether things. So there's definitely a lot going on in this fight, as I'll say.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah,
and like this fight is always like, last week it was more of a just taken, endless swarms of taken.
Yes, yeah.
And it was very fun. Like the enemy density is much better than Overload, which was the last seasonal event.
Yeah, and it's like a good reuse of, even though they are reusing this environment. The last environments we were in were brand new, but it's cool like for them to reuse the blind well, which is like from Forsaken era in this way. That makes sense, because you're just having this big huge fight in it.
It's the place you spend the most time at in the Dreaming City for sure, and it's cool to come back there after it's been a while.
Okay, yep, I found him. I put some.
Is he like hiding around? Yeah.
Yeah. Because basically, after a certain point, he puts like a bunch of the like after images around the map, and he's just in the map somewhere, and you just kind of have to run around and
That's cool.
Figure out which one he is. You can kind of see, like, if you look at the fake ones, they like have kind of like a little purpley aura around them, so you can see they're kind of fake. But you essentially have to find him in there, and like the thing is, like, once you find the right one, you'll start seeing actual proper damage numbers like off of him. And obviously, he just won't instantly teleport away. Or, like, disintegrate or whatever.
Oh, I found him. He's by me.
Yep, yeah. And that puts, like, a marker on him for us, which is nice.
Nice. Yeah, that is cool.
So, yep. So then we got him to his next health marker, which I think that's when the ether things spawn in, is when we get him to those ticks of health.
Yeah, and then you can see a bunch of copies of him.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I see the ether.
Shooting it. Oh man.
Yep. It's chaotic.
Just so many dudes. Yeah.
Yep, it's freaking chaotic.
As it should be. Chaos.
I see. There he is in the center now.
I'm trying to like clear ads, so hopefully you can do some damage to him.
Yeah. I put a shot on him, but I think he teleported away before I could. Yeah, I think he's hiding again. I'm not sure where he went.
Nope. One of those big abominations got me.
I know it was a fake one.
Also, somebody got him.
Oh yeah, somebody got him. Okay, yeah.
Nice. That's it.
Yeah, and then we get our chests. Of course, there's a new currency. It's Destiny. So what do you expect? But you can use it at the end of this quest to open up an extra chest for more rewards. And you can also use it for umbral engrams, because those are still a thing.
Petra, I believe I asked you to stop making that joke. That you did, my queen.
Outlaw Harmony. On the and you see those are some of the stasis guns. There's a hand cannon and a shotgun. I have two of those here. I still have not gotten the stinking
headstone
perk on any of my guns though. But it seems like the play might be some of the like higher tier umbral engrams you can get in the later on the track. Let you put multiple. It'll give you versions of the guns that have multiple perks in those later slots.
Very handy.
I'll probably start going for those later to try and get that. And pop a bunch of these bounties I just did.
Now we should ask the age-old question though, Mike. Is this any easier to jump in?
That's always the tough thing with Destiny is like, especially like I think the story. It's like one of those difficult things where I feel like there's probably a lot of people in the same headspace as any kind of MMO type game. Like I know a lot of people say Final Fantasy 14 has like some of the best story in a video game in a long time. I think Destiny has been getting like incredibly good over the last couple seasons, but then like there's still a lot of like the MMO-y general video gamey grinding and leveling up stuff you're still gonna have to deal with in any of these games. So I think like it's less about dealing with that stuff and more about trying to accept that aspect of the game, right? So
you have to be into that, you know, like it's not going to appeal to everyone, and I think that's totally fine also, you know.
But yeah, I think like for anybody getting into it or trying into, I think it definitely the addition of crossplay helps a lot more than it ever has, just because that makes it much easier for anybody to play with anybody across any consoles. The game is free to play, so you can at least kind of start in the free tier, but I definitely recommend like, you know, trying it for free, and then if you're not really feeling it, you know, then you're probably good, because otherwise the way to get in is like, you have to spend money to get into the seasons, into the expansions, and to see like all the actual story stuff. Like that's the paid content, and that's kind of how they treat it. So yeah, like you kind of there definitely has to be like a little bit of acceptance of like, you have to be willing to get into an MMO, or like know some people who are already way into it and try and help them with you, because I'm sure more than likely if you're a person who's not played and have friends who are really into it and you go like, I want to get into this, they'll be like, yes.
Yes.
let's get in. Let's do it. Like I think like that's where it comes down to. Where if you're more
For
of a
sure.
person who's like, likes playing games solo or trying stuff out for yourself by yourself, and you're not really like a multiplayer type person, like you can still enjoy this game, but I think you'll definitely have a lot more hurdles than people if you're not willing to try it out with people.
Yeah, and I will say like crossplay definitely, it is cool because like in the past, and I saw
Yeah. Actually,
some,
like I showed off a little bit, but I think here I can go back here, and as you can see, like you can see I have friends. Here's me and Alex in our party, and then I have my clan that I'm in. But if you go down to this little invite, you can see like what they introduced is basically now you have a Bungie name on top of your Destiny name. So you can see if I hover over my thing, you can see there's my Bungie name with the hashtag numbers, kind of like Discord. If you're watching, if you're Discord, like you have that Bungie name, which is like your overarching name for any platform. So you basically want to be adding friends with that name, and then they'll see you across any platform you're playing on. So that's kind of how they're doing crossplay in this, which like that's kind of like I feel like how a lot of games do it, where they just have your more direct name.
yeah, and just the idea that you can kind of like across any platform be like, hey, I want to try this. Like everyone is kind of available to you that plays, so it does broaden the pool. And I've seen a lot of people like new to Destiny or that have not played in a while jumping into this season and having a good time. So
yeah, absolutely.
What's cool is like all of the seasonal stories through Season of the Hunt, which is the one that started with Beyond Light. You can still access all that and still play all that. And it's worth playing because I think you get the idea of how they're telling the story and
how they're
trying to say.
Yeah, how they're telling the story and like what they're building to, because it really has been. They've really been nailing down like here is like a more ongoing story with like different narrative threads between different characters and different like characters starting off at one point and being in different perspectives and learning different things and character arcs and all kinds of stuff. All right, so let's the next part of the story quest here is going to take us to Thieves Landing on the shore. So this is just like a seasonal thing they've added where there's like the seasonal currency. You can, it's just kind of more just telling you like, hey, you can go here and collect this parallax stuff
if you want,
it's all here. But I think usually like I might have to collect a little bit here because it says
let me actually because I didn't see what my thing is.
Because my thing just says travel to the tangled shore, which that's all you need to do first. But then there's like you do have to collect a little bit of the stuff. I think I might have to, which is fine. You can try and do that real quick, and then we'll jump into the other activity for the season, which I think is
Shattered
like
Realm.
Shattered Realm, which is super cool, and I think like shows off the thing I like about Destiny a whole lot is just like there's cool secrets and mystery, a lot of mysterious stuff, and letting you kind of figure stuff on your own. I really appreciate
it just said to enter the Shadow Realm via the helm that I've landed like straight up.
Yeah, it says I still need to get it says I need to get parallax stuff. So let's see if I can like quickly find a couple of those. But I don't know if you'll be able to start it because I might have to switch you to Fire Team Leader to just go into that. But I'm not sure.
It like when I tried to enter the Shadow Realm before, it said like you need to have this quest step, so I think you probably still need to have it.
Okay. All right. Well, let's see. I'm just gonna run around and see if I find any real quick.
Yeah, I am looking around myself. It was a good thing too when we were playing last week that we were calling out to each other where they were because you have to collect all of them.
Yeah. Yeah, collecting, yeah, because that is part of Triumphs and the weekly challenges and stuff to get experience and whatnot. That's still a thing this season too. So, again, yeah, like case in point, what I was saying earlier, like there is aspects of like just kind of you're gonna have to do a little busy work sometimes to get to the best stuff, and that's just, I think, a reality of a game of this type.
Yeah, for sure.
And like that might not be your thing, and that's okay. I think I found one actually over here.
Yeah, I mean, like I'll say as someone like, and like you've played more MMOs for sure than me, Mike. But yeah, I don't want to speak for you, but like this is kind of like the only game of this kind that I'm into. And like the
Yeah.
broad appeal, like the stuff that I've like found is specific to games like this that I've actually really gotten into is like making different builds and getting a full set of masterwork armor like that can basically be malleable to any kind of build that you want to try and make.
Mm-hmm.
And like finding ways to create synergy with your weapons and your abilities. And you know, like that's the kind of true end game of games like this, I think. And I think just Destiny has like things are simple enough that you're like, oh, you know, like this gun, the more enemies I kill rapidly, the faster I can reload it. That in combination with weapons that complement that, or abilities that complement that, or armor that complements that, like they do a good job of making that seem easy to grasp but hard to master. So like if that idea appeals to you at all, of like, oh, I want to make a really powerful guardian that gets their abilities constantly, or one that has really strong weapons, like you can spec into that. You just play it, you'll unlock guns that will pique your interest in that regard, and then follow that thread. And I think it is really fun once you start to appreciate that kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I think like once you get into more of like the actual like building out stuff, and I'm sure there are other games in this genre that let you do things in that too. But I think like Destiny being a first-person shooter lends itself to more directly, right? Of like I can pick up a gun and immediately feel like the differences of like shooting a gun in a video game compared to like I'm in like, you know, an MMO, and it's a lot more static and maybe numbers based. That just doesn't feel as interesting.
Oh, come to me.
Okay. Oh, you found another
I found one.
I already picked up a couple while you were chatting, because I only need to probably pick up one more and I'll be good.
Cool.
That's one I got.
Oh, okay.
That's okay. Actually, I see another one right across from there. It's behind that wall over there.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, I know some people who are watching might be checking this out. Obviously, we're passionate about it and want to understand like, what can I look forward to in this?
Yeah. Now I can do the quest. That was enough because I picked up like 3 or 4 of them.
But yeah, just to like try and answer that question of like, I really like making custom builds that complement the weapons that you can get.
Yeah, and like play styles that like are just like fun to you. I think like the game has gotten way better about like more freedom of like player choice of like, well, yes. I you know, you can start top level of like, let me just pick a character and a class. And like maybe I really like, you know, in particular the Arc subclass on the Warlock, and then you can dive deeper in that, choosing like, all right, do I want the Chaos Reach, which is like a big laser beam for my super, and also that gives me like different projectile melees, or do I want to be the Stormcaller, which like lets you basically turn into a, you know,
Lord,
a big electrical, basically, you know, Sith Jedi whatever.
And shoot lightning at you.
And shoot lightning on your fingers. Yeah, so you also go into a different area on here, by the way. Going to the right.
Okay.
Look at this area.
Holy shit. This is awesome.
Yep. We're going into a Scorn realm.
Ooh. Exciting. Yeah, this does kind of look like the Tangled Shore.
Yep. It's got like these weird like buildings I've like kind of never seen in like a Fallen Scorny type area, but like they obviously are those kind of places.
Design.
Yeah. Very cool. Little sound.
So do we know what this place is, the Shattered Realm? Is it like someone's throne world or something?
I think it's just like I think it's like the area kind of in between that.
Okay.
Like there's, because that's like what we're kind of doing is like,
we're trying to save these Takions.
Yeah, which are like servants to Mara Sov, who help her like traverse these realms of like the Ascendant Planes into Throne Worlds into other places.
Which any D&D fans out there, you can just imagine like a plane of existence that a very powerful magic caster can create for themselves.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, so we're going over here to that building over there. You can see that big beacon going into the sky. That's where our first beacon is. So we'll head over this way.
And like you were saying earlier, some of the best stuff about this is, there's like collectibles that you can find that are hidden, which you can try and find all of them in order to get like weekly challenges done, which just give you big experience pushes.
Yeah.
And B, there are like hidden areas that you need upgrades in your Wayfinder's compass, which is like the seasonal item. You need upgrades in that to be able to explore or to explore more easily.
Yes.
So it really encourages you to just like walk around and find stuff.
Yeah, and there's like even more. There's like tons of stuff like that. Like these, you'll see these. Like these aren't on yet, but when we go do this beacon, the ones in this area will turn on, and then we can start interacting with that stuff to see what they can do. And I actually have gotten, since I already did this on one character already, I actually have the next ability that you
Is it True Sight?
Yeah, it is True Sight. Yes.
Excellent.
So I can show up. I don't know what it'll do for you, to be honest.
Yeah,
but
it might not do anything for me. So
yeah,
we'll see.
because it is like similar to the first ability you get, where it's like you activate a thing and then it's on a timer, and you have to kind of do a thing sort of quickly to get it. But it is interesting. All right. Yeah, but first we gotta do. Of course, we gotta. It's Destiny. We gotta shoot some stuff.
Defend the point.
So we're aligning some beacons and defeating some enemies as they come up. Nice.
I love Traveler's Chosen.
Yeah.
It's such a great handgun.
It feels good. I have one of they brought back a bunch of popular weapons from early in Destiny 2 from the Trials of 9. Just like a PvP mode. Yeah, I have an auto rifle from that. I like it a lot. I got dynamic sway reduction, which makes it just like a little bit more stable, so when you're kind of shooting, you're not really, the gun's not swaying around a lot. Then I have One for All, which that perk makes it so like after I put up a couple bullets into multiple enemies, I get like a damage buff to my overall damage up with the gun. So like it's a good
one for like auto rifle.
Yeah, it's a really good perk for auto rifle and like heavy machine guns and things like that. And it definitely like makes this auto rifle feel really good.
Jealous. Hopefully our prophecy run this week.
Yeah, we'll definitely do some
treat me well.
Some prophecy runs. I definitely want to do more. And they are, and for what it's worth, like the weapons aren't on weekly lockouts. Like you can run it, like you could run that prophecy dungeon to try and get a version of those guns, like many times if you want to, and just try and get rolls of the guns you want. And
yeah, another thing about like endgame Destiny that I never thought would appeal to me, but I totally love, is just trying to get new versions of guns that are better.
Yeah, that's definitely something I didn't think as much of. There's definitely a time when I was playing Destiny and did not think about that stuff as much either. And definitely like last year was like definitely like, I think the experience you're having to an extent now of like a kind of eye-opening of like, oh yeah, having this gun with these with particular perks like makes it almost like an entirely different gun. It's kind of crazy. Sometimes you don't realize how impactful some of that stuff can be, and that's cool.
Yeah,
like, that stuff can be that game-changing.
I don't know, because you didn't play Destiny 1.
No.
But I don't know if you remember way back when, like 2014, the talk of Destiny was like they wanted you to have a gun,
a story for your gun, right?
That had a story, yeah. And now I finally feel that.
Yeah, right. Like they're finally starting to make good on a lot of those things. All right, so we did the first beacon here.
Oh wait, there's a barrier we can go through in here.
Oh, is it over there?
Yeah.
Barrier.
This was like the first week.
Yeah, so basically like now these are active in this general area, and we can do this. I can go through, and there's there's a chest over in that one.
Oh, cool. I'm gonna probably have to re-barrier break. But...
yeah. Oh, I just had just enough. I already picked them up. I don't know if they give you. I think they just give. I think they're on weekly because I didn't get anything from that, but that's okay. And here's the other one, which I've unlocked, is this guy over here.
Yeah, let me see if I see anything.
You probably just will see me jumping onto empty stuff. But basically, you hit True Sight, and it makes these platforms, and I can jump across here.
Yeah, I don't see anything.
Yeah, and normally there was a chest here on this last platform, but since I already got it, Looks like it's not there. But yeah, it's kind of like, they've done a similar thing in like in the Dreaming City, where like, when you put on the whatchamacallit, the tinctures, and they had a similar mechanic where like when you activated that, it lets you see platforms you wanted to see before. So it's a pretty similar concept to that. But yeah, like there's more secrets like that you can unlock and find, which is cool.
Yeah, and it's just smart tying it to like the weekly or the seasonal item, in this case the Wayfinder's Compass, because you're like pouring resources into it to level it up and unlocking abilities that feel like they're actually
Meaningful.
useful
Yeah.
things.
Yeah, that's cool, because like, another part of this is like the weekly, like this mission changes weekly. Like the area in the first week was completely different than the area we're in now, where it was more like a shattered earth kind of area instead of this more shattered other. You can actually, if we go to a part of this map, you can actually see them in this area. Let me see if I can go over there, because that's where we came from the start. And then you can kind of see over there. It's like you can kind of see the lightning parts. You can see the trees and over there.
That's so cool, dude. That looks awesome.
Yeah,
just in general.
Yeah, and that area was over there, and the stuff where we just interacted with, like the barrier breach and the true state stuff, was in that map. So like, it's cool that like in a couple weeks when that comes back into rotation, we'll have all these new abilities to go back into that place and find a bunch of new stuff.
Totally.
So I like that they've at least like, yeah, you're going to be probably doing this, going into the same area overall, but there's going to be a bunch of new stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're heading the right way to the next beacon. Okay. But there's some more like barrier stuff in here too. We'll have to do the beacon first to get them to show up.
Sounds good.
But this next area is cool too, because I feel like it's not like an area I've seen. Maybe it was like a thing in Destiny 1, but it's like a big fallen like actual ship you're like inside of.
Yeah, this does kind of remind me of Destiny 1, like Cosmodrome stuff.
Yeah. Because I feel like I was like running around. I was like, I don't feel like I've been in a place like this before, which is cool. Sorry, we're gonna do another beacon defense here.
Tough area to defend. There's not a lot of floor.
Yeah. Well, there's this back area we can run back through. It's actually pretty big.
Okay, cool.
So we don't have to stand around here too much. So we can kind of stay up here and fight stuff.
Oh, you know what? I'll break out my my stasis gun, the hand cannon.
Yeah.
So
and there you can see these lantern dudes have stasis. The dude just froze me. That's new for them this season. Like, these enemies did not have that before.
Yeah, even like the fallen enemies with stasis were just bosses. Like, we didn't really see regular enemies, and it is such a cool. It changes like how you play in a substantial way. Yeah,
and just like these enemies you've been fighting all this time that were just like, oh yeah, you shoot the fire thing and they just explode, and that's fun. Like, you can still shoot that and they'll explode into like freezy stasis. But now they can also like shoot a full-blown projectile at you with like stasis and stuff, and that stuff can freeze you.
And it freezes you.
And it freezes you. So yeah, you have to like interplay with that, and it's really interesting.
Yeah, like they Bungie does these great write-ups about mechanics and stuff, and they use what they call like focus verbs for subclasses. So like slow and freeze, like these debuffs. Like having enemies with that.
Okay, just, there's an unstoppable in the back. I'm gonna do my thing with this fusion rifle, by the way.
Oh Jesus Christ!
I killed both of them. I didn't even realize it killed both.
Yeah, you did kill both of them. Went through one guy into the other.
Yeah, the explosions from, because I'm using 1K voices, which is a raid exotic that was previously honestly like kind of okay, but with, like, again, I am pairing it with a seasonal mod that you get from like a seasonal artifact, which are basically like limited time mods that you get during like a specific Destiny season.
I'm showing off that gun that we were talking about earlier with
Headstone. Oh yeah, let me see. Yeah, I'll watch you shoot some dudes.
Boom.
Oh yeah, you're making ice crystals. That's cool.
If I can actually get that headshot off of this guy. Of course not. He was too wiggly.
Yeah, he's squirrely. I messed up that grenade throw.
I'm curious, like, because Quinn was here for the last one. How did he feel about like the season of the Splicer stuff?
He seemed interested in it. Like I think he's more into the story aspects of the game more than like what
Sure.
we've been talking about, where it's like we're kind of getting into the deeper stuff of like trying to make builds and get into like the RPG-ish aspects of the game. Oh, nice! Yeah, there you go. You made
Yep, there you go.
You see the
And
crystal,
I can just shoot it twice and it booms.
and it booms.
Very nice.
Yeah, and that pairs with all of your stasis abilities and stuff. It's really
Yep.
cool. I really like that. I still have not gotten that gun. Oh, he froze me, even though I was shooting him. So fun. All right.
Also, like, one of the subclass changes they made for Warlock is in the Well of Radiance, which is like this big super that creates a giant healing rift. Like, you can't be slowed or frozen in that
Yep.
anymore.
That's pretty
which
awesome.
is super good in PvP, it turns out.
Yeah, I kind of figured as much.
I have a video of me, like, in a well defending it against 4 Stasis Guardians, and they couldn't do anything to me. It just felt so good.
That sounds pretty amazing.
Yeah.
So let's head out. Let's head over here. I can show you another little secret area that's up here. It's kind of neat.
Ooh.
So you kind of have to platform
I'm
up.
always here
You have
for
to
that.
kind of platform up a little bit. So you gotta kind of get on
Oh.
these little tiny ledges, and you can get up here.
Kind of like Presage. I like it.
Yeah, and then so you can see now we're up here.
Ooh.
You have some dudes up here.
Of course.
Look out for them. Murder him. So I haven't figured this out yet because me and Jake were doing this earlier. So I just wanted to see what you thought, because you can see, like, when we came in earlier, if you looked up, this is like, you can see that's the room we were in to get up here. If you look on the walls here, remember these things, these little handles?
Yeah.
I have not figured out how to like activate those so they turn on and you can do stuff with them. But I'm assuming, I would assume, because there's another thing where in the room below there's a true sight little thing we used earlier, and that makes platforms you can jump up to get through this barrier. It doesn't turn off the barrier, but it makes platforms so you can jump up here, presumably through that barrier. So I don't know how to turn all this stuff off yet.
Cool.
So that's like a whole nother secret in this whole zone I have not figured out yet. There's another one over here. If you look, here's another one on this doorway, on this door.
Oh, yeah.
I have not figured those out yet. So that's like another thing to figure out in this area. I think it's pretty cool.
Love it.
Yeah, and so you can come out here, and there's more little areas out here. So this teleporter out here takes us to the boss.
Okay.
Um,
We can fight the boss.
Yeah, let's
You
do
do.
it.
Explored quite a bit. Gone
Yeah.
through quite a bit in this video, so let's finish it up.
Yeah, let's do it. All right. So we got to do another boss.
Last beacon aligned. Be ready.
All right. I'm curious. I guess it'll be a scoring boss.
Nope, it's a spider tank.
Oh my god!
Yep.
It's a scoring spider tank.
Yep. Yep, he's got missiles that he shoots out his back, and it's a bad time.
I love his little backpack thing.
Yeah. You won't like it as much when he shoots the missiles out of it, I'm
Yeah, I'm sure. Oh yeah, not
yep.
good.
Yep. It's a lot of missiles, is what I'll say. But
Shout
yeah.
out to the scorn love in this this season. Though.
Oh yeah, here come the missiles. And he has a flamethrower too, by the way. I don't know if you saw that.
Oh god.
But yeah, he's like a spider tank. You can shoot the things, and it'll. There we go, and his legs goes down.
I'll use your fusion rifle buff.
Yeah, I'm gonna put that on him. There's the 1k damage.
Jesus Christ. I'm doing so much damage too.
Yep. Yep, like I said, yep, that's a lot of damage you can do.
I'm doing like 50,000 damage just a burst.
Yep,
Holy crap, that's awesome.
yep. The fusion rifle stuff this season is gonna be super fun.
Yeah, I was attempting some raids and getting damage in was not a good time. So
Yeah,
I'm
it's
excited to have
it's early in the season, so yeah, it can be tricky
Oh,
unless you're crazy like me and play way too much.
hey, I respected that.
There we go. We took him down. That was clearly much easier because I had the mods and stuff, but it's a cool different boss that I like that they.
Excellent.
Yeah, there's only one of these in the game. Otherwise, in that
Yeah.
the Scorn Strike. So
Yeah. Then we go over here and we save the tick in.
hell yeah.
Hi, lady. We saved
and we
you.
did it.
We got a Canis Major. So let's go speak to somebody, as it says on the
I can't shake
thing.
Yeah.
like something out of a bad dream. And not just the time the High Celebrant threw me in that pit. It's
Oh,
like
same
this
14.
place is haunting me.
Yeah, I got Crow. He was talking about being haunted by the images of the Tangled Shore.
Mhm.
Some interesting... again, like the last couple seasons where, like, they get a couple more characters in the mix and they talk about, like, what's going on. It's not just, like, one character, like, spouting mission objectives at you.
Yes, very different than like even like the main campaigns of Destiny in the past, like the Red War and like the Taken King campaign were very like Vanguard heavy. It's just kind of like the three of them. Now it feels like there are other characters outside of them that are also very interesting.
So yeah, let's head into the helm here and talk to somebody.
Oh yeah,
It's time.
it's time. Sure, I'm here for it. Let's talk to her.
I knew you'd be back. I'm so glad we get to talk. You and that charming little ghost of yours.
Thank you.
You're not
My ghost is very
He
charming.
does have a hat.
With my
I love
logo,
it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Words are just thoughts given shape. Ideas emerging into the physical world, burst by a mouth. Not good or evil, not light or dark, or this or that. And you understand, don't you? Despite the excruciatingly binary worldview of those around you. You don't have to say it. We've all heard it before. The line between light and dark is so very thin.
Called out,
As if
dude.
you were
Yep.
incapable of lifting your eyes from a scroll of chalk on the ground. The traveler in the light near one foot, your old enemies and the darkness at the other. Let me tell you a secret. If you ever want to see what's been watching you since the very beginning, just stand on that line and look up.
There she is. Savathun playing her own games. This is what I love about this. Is probably gonna be my favorite thing about the season. Is like they're-
Talking to the enemy.
Yeah, we're literally talking to like the big bad of the next expansion, and they're clearly going to be spending the next few months, 5 to 6 months, like building her up.
Yeah.
Obviously, between all the other usual Destiny shenanigans and events and things, because it's a video game. But like that's so cool to me, and I like this is going to be a really good season of this video game, and I hope more people get to come check this game out. I know it's challenging, but I hope you hear it in this video. If you watch this video and go, oh yeah, I should see what's up with Destiny, and see we're both clearly very into it in a way we haven't been, I think, in a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks, Alex.
Yeah,
for
thanks,
joining me.
Frank, for taking us on a journey.
That's right. We'll see y'all next time. Bye.
Bye.